Hey everyone, Alex here from ornamentdesigns.com, and today I'm going to show you how to do a combination 10 division. First thing you're going to need to do is start out with a simple 10 division like I've already done here. Next, you're going to need to do some math. Now don't get too discouraged. I'm terrible at math myself. If I can do this, so can you. So the equation here is C, which is your circumference, divided by 6, plus 1/100th of your circumference. Okay, I know that sounds confusing, but it really isn't. All right, first go ahead and measure the circumference of your ball. Now, I've already done this, and my circumference comes out to 22 centimeters. (22) divided by 6 equals, and I can't do this in my head, so I'll use my trusty calculator. It equals 3.66 repeating. Now to find 1/100th of 22 is really super easy. We did this in grade school. You just move your decimal point. So you got 22, move your decimal point 2 places, and now you have 0.22, and that's 1/100th of your circumference. So now you're going to do the rest of the equation here. Put those two parts together. And I'm going to round the 3.66 repeating to 3.7. So 3.7 plus 0.22, or 0.22, however you want to say it. And that equals 3.92. This number is very important. If you are going to be doing the same size ball several times, keep this number handy so you don't have to go through all this math again. I'll round 3.92 to a simple 3.9. Then I'm going to go back over to my foam ball and measure from my north point down to the equator 3.9 centimeters. And I'm going to do this for every other line. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video here. Otherwise, it's going to take too long to go through each point. And we need to be as accurate as possible with our measurements for this particular ball, because everything's going to have to line up in the end. Alright, so now I have all my markings from my from the North Pole. Now I'm going to start my markings from the South Pole. And now I'm going to do the same measurement, except this time it's from the South Pole to the equator point, 3.9 centimeters on the opposite lines, the lines that you didn't mark from the North Pole. Okay, a little jump forward there. And now I've gone ahead and marked all of my points, as you can see. All right, now we can check our measurements. And what we should have now is the same distance between any 2 points. And like I said before, we want to be as accurate as possible so that everything lines up in the end. So if the distances are a little off, a little over, a little under, you can go ahead and try to do some adjustments here if necessary. Otherwise, we can move on to the next step. All right, so from here, we need to mark our points with different colors of pen. So you should have about 5 different colors for this. Here, I'm starting with my black pen. You're going to mark any point, any of those points that you drew with that pen. And you'll need a pin, and you'll stick your pin into that point. Okay? And then you're going to turn it over, hold it up, or hold it horizontal or vertical or however you want. And you can find the pin that's exactly opposite on the other side of the ball. And you'll mark that point with the same color. All right? So let's go ahead and let me show you how it lines up. See, so, well, my pins are a little bit off. They're not exactly pointing in the right direction here, but you should see how those two basically line up. They're on opposite sides of the ball. Okay, so we can go ahead and mark the other points with our other colors. Next, I'm going to use red. I've picked a point, and I'm marking it with a little red X, and then I'm sticking my pin in there. And I'm going to find the opposite point, and it should be that one right there. And let me mark that in my red pen again. And I'm going to continue around the ball for the other 3 pairs of points, doing the exact same thing with 3 other colors of pen. All right, I've gone ahead and color-coded all of my points now. Next, we're going to connect the dots. And this is a tricky part. Okay, be real slow and careful when you do this because this part has taken me a lot of time to perfect. So, all right, what we're going to do is I'm starting with one of my red points here, and I'm going to connect it to my blue point. Now, it doesn't have to be the blue point to start with. I'm just choosing that one. It doesn't matter. It could be any. It could be the black, the gold, the, whatever other color points you have. All right, so I'm going to connect my red to my blue. Okay, then I'm going to continue around to the other red point on the other side. So I'm going to try to keep this straight. I want to get it as perfect as I can. And I'll go ahead and mark that. And then, oops, off camera. All right, then I'm going to mark, I'm going to draw a line from the red point to the blue point, and then back around to the red point again. All right, I'm all done with that. Now you can see I've drawn my first line around the ball. I've gone from blue to red, to red, back to blue. Now for my next line, I've chosen blue point, and I'm going down to this gold point. Up around the ball to the opposite blue point. There's gold, around to the opposite blue point. And then from blue to gold, around again to the blue point I started at. All right, so now I'm going to go from my blue point to my black point. And do the same thing as I did from before. From blue to black to the opposite blue to the next black, back to blue again. All right, now I'm going to speed this up since you get the concept now. And I'm basically connecting that first blue point to all of the other colors. And when I'm finished, what we're going to end up with is basically another simple 10 division radiating out from that blue point. See, there you go. And now I've done blue. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do my black and do the same thing as I did before and go from black to whatever other color hasn't been connected yet. Right, I've jumped forward a little bit here, and I'm slowing it down. I want to show you how, as I'm drawing lines from point to point, the other lines that I've drawn, they're starting to intersect at their own points. And you want to try to keep things lined up so that your lines are going through those other intersecting points as well. You don't want to end up with any little triangles that shouldn't be there. All right, so you're going to continue drawing your lines from point to point until every single colored point has a simple 10 division radiating from it. And you'll start to see these pentagons being formed the more and more lines that you draw. Right, now it looks like I'm done drawing all of my lines, and you can see the pentagon shapes that have formed. Now, you can look around your ball and you might see a couple of lines that are a little off, that are not quite lining up. And you can go ahead and adjust those quite easily. Just redraw your line, like I'm doing here. And if you want, if those extra mistake lines are confusing to you, you can use your whiteout pen and you can just white out that line that you're not going to use later. All right, that's pretty much it. We're all done. If you would like another reference for making combination 10, or would like to learn some other methods for making this combination 10, head on over to tamarikai.com, and I will see you again next time. Thank you so much. Bye.